Alright, so I'm in the car. Let's see how long this all takes. I'm gonna go key on. Right now my phone is just sitting on its main screen. When I go key on, the Bluetooth should launch Android Auto. That's about how long it takes. My screen's gonna be waiting there. I gotta tap here, and then I gotta pull down. Looks like this takes a second or two to load up. Something you're gonna have to deal with. But let's just see. Yeah. Looks like about a 15 to 20 second wait for that before you just, like, you know, by the time you start to drive off. So once it comes there, I think we're good. I just do this, pull down, screen sharing. And then it's going to search for the device. It finds it, it automatically connects. So I'm done in that respect. I can just rotate my display. Good to go. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm about to update my Android screen mirroring system that I have on my car, and I have a lot of new subscribers now since the last time I talked about this. Perhaps some of you guys haven't seen this. I found a pretty cost-effective way to integrate Android Auto on my old CCC iDrive. And I got my music, streaming, I got navigation, pure Android Auto experience. Resolution's okay on there, it's usable, let's just put it that way. The first thing I want to do now is get in underneath the dash here, pull out that cover, and I'll show you guys all the stuff I got. So you got yourself two T20 Torx screws on the corners. I'll drop this panel down. You can see some of the hardware that makes this possible, just to give you guys an idea. I got this popped open, I got the glove box open, so you can see in behind there. But I got a bunch of cables stuffed up in there, and if you look here, first things first, the signal going to the actual reverse camera multimedia interface that a lot of people buy just to get a reverse camera is going to be RCA or analog, and then there's inputs. So you'll have a few different AV sources that come with it. As you can see there's one hanging down now. So reverse automatically triggers via CAN bus. As soon as the car's in reverse, it automatically pops up on my screen, takes over and shows me what's happening behind. But there's a button that I've integrated to actually allow for me to feed RCA in. So what I tried a few different HDMI to RCA adapters, and this is the one I settled on. I tried 3, I believe. This one works well. The 10 DAC HDMI to AV adapter is as crisp as possible. So it takes HDMI and converts it to RCA. So that's there. It's getting powered by a cigarette lighter adapter. This is the controls for the multimedia interface that you don't ever have to touch. It's just there in case you ever want to change some settings. I'm not using that functionality. I'm ready to lower this glove box down. Now, you can see where I've tucked things away. I don't really have to drop the glove box or unplug anything, but you can see some of the hardware now. I guess for a video it would probably be better to unplug this stuff and then get it right out of the way, so I'll do that. Here's a good clean shot of all the hardware that's making this happen. First of all, I see these have deteriorated. Let's get those out of the way. Alright, so as you can see, there's some of the hardware that's making this happen. I have this cigarette lighter adapter, and it just taps in over there. I actually found a good 12 volt source that's only active when the car is started, and I'm using that for my power underneath the dash here, and I just have it secured there so it can't come undone. And FYI, you can kind of just make out my multimedia module. I have a video on my channel showing you how to install a reverse camera, and how to work with this multimedia module. But you can see it in there. It's called an X-Car Link. It was popular back in the day for a cheap way to get reverse camera on your E90 or E60. So I'll link that at the end of the video in terms of me installing that module. So the reason I'm making this video is because I'm changing the way I'm doing this. I tried to do a wired connection directly to the phone, which worked, but it would deplete my battery because the phone's not designed to charge and do HDMI out at the same time. So a couple things. I bought a really good quality charger here with 3 ports and a high-speed charge port, 3 amps, USB-C to USB-C. I bought that just so that I can charge my phone more aggressively, but ultimately I'm doing this a different way now. I'm going to do it wirelessly. In my previous video talking about Android Auto integration on my car, I was using a Chromecast, and it was really difficult to work with when you don't have a Wi-Fi network. There was workarounds, but you'd spend 2 or 3 minutes dicking around with the phone prior to being able to drive off just to get your screen mirroring going. So on a long trip, sure, it may work. On a quick trip to work and whatnot, it will almost not be worth the hassle of connecting. I wanted things to be instantaneous. I want to be able to jump in, have Android Auto launch automatically, press a button beside the steering wheel to take over the screen, and just instantly connect. So I did some research and I found out that this Microsoft wireless display adapter version 2 has Mirrorcast support. So if you have an Android phone, it should seamlessly and instantly allow you to screen mirror with just a tap of a button. So we're trying that out now. I'm going to connect this to the car. I'm not doing Chromecast. I'm not doing a straight hardwired connection. I'm literally just trying to do this via Mirrorcast. If this works, great. Now, so I have this multimedia box that I show sitting over there, right there. And, you know, they're a couple $100 and change. And I use it for a really good way to get a reverse camera. And, you know, I've had to do a couple janky things here, like that cigarette lighter adapter and this AV adapter and whatnot. Lots of trial and error. Nowadays, they're coming out with hardware that allows you to change out your screen altogether and comes with Android, an Android operating system, and allows you to screen mirror, etc. I may try that next. You know, they're in and around the $400 range. So this is one way to do it, but maybe this is a lot of headache. You know, you could have done this way back. You could have done this literally years ago. So it's maybe an old school way of doing things. There's probably better ways to do it now. I think if you spend around $400 to $600, you get a whole new screen. And, you know, so take this with a grain of salt. It works. It's a way to do it. It's not that cheap. When you buy the multimedia interface for reverse camera, you buy this piece, you buy the charger, you know, it starts to add up to cost around $400 and change. Is it better than one of the newer solutions that has a higher resolution screen? I would say no. But I'm putting this video up to potentially inspire people to consider finding ways to integrate Android Auto. If you want to follow this build, I've described the parts here. You know, it definitely works, and it kind of has an OEM feel. But you know, maybe my next video will be me actually changing out that screen and trying out one of those Chinese Android devices. But for now, I want to perfect this and show you guys that it works, and we'll see what happens next. So I'm going to install this now. Let's get it unboxed. It was $47, but it's definitely better than Chromecast if you want a screen mirror, because you don't have to be on a Wi-Fi network, which is really important in this situation. So people are using these in automotive applications quite a bit. So comes with this little extender piece, which I shouldn't need, but maybe I'll use it. So ultimately this end is going to go here. I'm going to get rid of this HDMI cable because I'm doing things a little different now. So now we're going to go HDMI on into this, and it just needs power. So it looks like I need this little piece to make it all fit. Alright, so we have this thing set up now. got power running to everything. I got a couple things going on here. So I have 3 things going on. I got a straight 3 amp USB-C cable running all the way over here, strictly for charging, so it can sit right there and not take up my cigarette lighter. I got power going to this AV box here, and I got power going to this Microsoft wireless adapter. So now I'm going to try connecting and see how it looks. So it should be just like a typical situation. I got my Bluetooth on, so if I come in the car, go key in, put the key in the on position. As you see, I didn't touch anything. It automatically launched Android Auto, as you can see. Now, what I want to be able to do, so I have a couple things going on here. I have a switch right here that if I tap it once, it's going to take over the screen. And if you notice, it's pulled up this display adapter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this. I'm going to pull it down once and click screen sharing. It's searching, it found it. There should be a one-time thing. Connecting. This is my first time trying it, so let's see how seamless this is. There you go. Now if I rotate my display like this, I'm screen mirroring. Very seamless. Now I'm going to plug in this for charging purposes. And I'm charging, as you can see. Now, I'm going to switch this back really quickly here. Now, if you look, I'm going to press the menu button here so you can come back. I'll go to entertainment. And as you can see, I'm just on FM, but I have a quick launch. I have this. I have this Bluetooth streamer that's meant for old iPhones and whatnot. I talk about it in on my channel. It's called the WMA 3000. And my car has a 6FL package. So it has aux in and USB. But what this does is it connects via Bluetooth to my phone, and I can just press 6 here. That's going to bring me into the USB. Take a second here. See, it's on USB streaming. See, I'm under aux, under the tune to air, so I'm under my USB 6FL package automatically. So I just press 6. It's automatically going, streaming and waiting. Now, if I press the screen thing again, switch the screen, if I were to press play here, I have volume. I have a music streaming automatically. I can change tracks. So I'm going to go over to the music section. And I have music. So this adapter is working great. I don't even need to even have charging going on. I'm streaming. If I rotate my display, it's going to rotate here. Decent latency. So I don't want to get struck with copyright here, but ultimately I want to have it sit here. I don't want to have to worry about charging it. That should happen seamlessly. We're good to go there. And I can change tracks. So once you start adding up this hardware, right, it's not cheap. You're talking about like an $80 Bluetooth adapter. Your car has to have 6FL. You're talking about a $25 charger, maybe a $20 or $15 AV HDMI adapter, a $50 Microsoft Miracast device, but it's still way better than Chromecast here because you don't need a Wi-Fi network. There's like no setup. It's very easy. A $200 and something multimedia adapter, and all the installation costs just to get this, and you're dealing with a low resolution. But it really doesn't look bad though, honestly. Like, surprisingly, there's plenty of pixel density there. It doesn't look bad at all, really. Clear enough. So let me try putting on one of my YouTube videos just to give you an idea. This is one of my YouTube videos running right now. You know, not bad, usable. If I had to be like all the way over here, it's fine, I guess. To give you an idea. So, all in all, I don't know. This is almost like I want to perfect this. I want it to be as good as it can be. But ultimately, nowadays there's better options out there. So, there are better options out there, really. I think, from what I've seen, that allow you to change out this entire screen and then integrate via CAN bus to your steering wheel controls, etc. I'm talking to a couple of companies to see if they'd be willing to send one my way. I'll pay for it, but just seeing if they're willing to do something along those lines. So ultimately, this works, and my battery is actually charging up right now, which is great. 72%, and as I sit here, it should increase in capacity. The way I would use this is while driving, I would just use steering wheel controls and whatnot. I'll input my navigation destination and whatnot, but I wouldn't need to really interact. But worst case, I can always tap the button here or just say okay Google, or tap this here. See, it automatically launched up and you can tell to navigate somewhere, no problem. Cancel. And but I can always just tap between the sources here, bang bang bang. So usually what happens is, since I left my audio source on USB 6FL, next time I come to the car, it will be there automatically. I literally just tap that once, and then I'll pull down on the screen and I click screen sharing. Once you've done it once, it will automatically just connect. You don't have to tell it again to connect to this one, and I'll be ready to go. And I've got my steering wheel controls and music all working the way I want it. I'm primarily doing this for music, but also for Android navigation. I'd rather have that than what comes on the car. Alright, so I'm happy it works. I'm going to get things put back together, and I'll give you guys a little more of a demonstration. Alright, so we're all put back together. I'm going to try it out. Alright, so I'm in the car. Let's see how long this all takes. I'm going to go key on. Right now my phone is just sitting on its main screen. When I go key on, the Bluetooth should launch Android Auto. That's about how long it takes. My screen's going to be waiting there. I got to tap here, and then I got to pull down. Looks like this takes a second or two to load up. Something you're going to have to deal with. But let's just see. Yeah. Looks like about a 15 to 20 second wait for that before you just, like, by the time you start to drive off. So once it comes there, I think we're good. I just do this, pull down, screen sharing, and then it's going to search for the device. It finds it, it automatically connects. So I'm done in that respect. I can just rotate my display, good to go, and then I'll grab this cable since it's easy, get a quick charge going there. So I got my music. If I push this, it pauses automatically. Change tracks. So it works well. Sounds good. So I'll show you guys the navigation when I'm on the road, but ultimately this is the solution. Way easier. I'm able to charge my device, no problem. I don't need a Wi-Fi network to be able to cast, and most newer devices besides Apple devices support Miracast. It's way easier, more seamless. So anyway, that's what this video is about. We'll conclude after I show you guys me using it on the road. So that's what it looks like. I've showed this before on my channel, but finally I have it to a point where it's just kind of seamless. Jump in the car, it will automatically connect via Bluetooth and initialize Android Auto, plug in the cable for charging, tap a button to the left of the steering wheel to activate the screen, and just turn on screen sharing. It's like one click. It's about as quick as I can make it. What you realize when you do stuff like this is it's important to make it seamless. Otherwise you're not going to use it on a day-to-day basis. Even though it's really nice to have, it's just not it's not worth it if you're driving 15 minutes and you're spending 3 or 4 minutes trying to get it all working. It's finally at the point now where it's problem free, it's not finicky, it just loads and works and looks clear. Like, in my opinion, it looks great. So I'm pretty happy with that. If I want to switch to music, I just basically tap down here and you can see what I'm listening to on the screen here, and it gives you instructions. Changing tracks.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Farm to Market 1463.
So it works well. So go back to navigation. One quick tap. It's right at my right within reach. So now I got this to the point where I'm happy with it. It's working well. I can see everything I need to see within my normal viewing angle. Got music. Basically, all I'm concerned with is navigation and music streaming, but worst case, if I wanted to load a YouTube video or whatnot, I could. I got to the point where it's set. I'm good with it. But you know, this is not necessarily being recommended to you guys. It should be to give you guys inspiration, to give you an idea of what can be done. Sure, right? By all means, use this video for that. But you know, there's probably more cost-effective ways to get this done with a higher resolution. That's what I'm going to explore next. What I've achieved here is using my stock screen and you know, using a bunch of mishmashed hardware and a bunch of trial and error to get it to a point where it works well for what it is. It's become seamless and it's something that I'll use on a daily basis. But when you look at the total cost, you may be better off just getting a whole Android computer. They sell them now. It's basically a screen replacement, much higher resolution. You can still pass through your standard signal, but you have it's running off Android and it connects via CAN bus. You can use your iDrive controller to do things. You can use your steering wheel controls, etc. So this is not necessarily for the average person here. I don't think too many people are going to want to do this, but at the same time, you know, this could be better than what's out there. I don't really know. I'm going to try it next. But if you have 6FL and you have navigation and you don't mind spending around $300 or $400 worth of random hardware, you can follow my DIY where I installed the video interface module and get the same functionality, and also get a reverse camera out of the deal. So I'm back home now. When I shut the car off, you'll see that Bluetooth disconnects and it will automatically exit out of this app without me doing anything, as you see. So you just carry on as usual. So that's basically it. That's where how I've updated things. I got to the point now where it's pretty seamless. I don't even need to plug this in unless I want to keep my battery charged up. So if you're new to my channel, this will be the first time you've seen this, and maybe I'll give you some inspiration. One thing I gotta show actually, if I go key on here, if I put it into reverse, that's my reverse camera in case you haven't seen this video on my channel. As you saw, it just automatically launched Android Auto without me doing anything again. But ultimately, a lot of people buy that video interface module just so that they can get a reverse camera out of the deal. And if you already have one, then this is a really good add-on. But even if you don't have one, that reverse camera module or the video multimedia interface, they're going for a couple $100 and change now. They're not terribly expensive. So that, along with the HDMI adapter, the Microsoft wireless display adapter, a cigarette lighter to charge stuff, is pretty, you know, not a lot of hardware involved, and you could probably do this for around, let's say, $300 to $400, and get some better functionality. But at the same time, you'd have to have the 6FL package and buy this thing. These are kind of expensive, they're like 70, 80 bucks to get your steering wheel controls working. So all in all, I'm just throwing it out there, showing you guys how I've updated my setup here. Maybe it'll be some inspiration for you guys. I do have a video on my channel about me installing the video interface module. But next up, I'm going to reach out to a couple of vendors to see if I can get that standalone Android screen that actually runs on Android and connects to your factory auxiliary port and gives you control via your iDrive controller. It still has pass-through, so you can keep your stock screen, but it has some functionality. It looks pretty cool. And see if I can get everything to work that way. If I get that working in a review and it works out well, then I'm definitely going to recommend that over what I've done here. But hey, it's content, and I figured I'd throw this up there. I've perfected this now. I'm happy with it. Now let's see what we can do next. So thanks for watching and good luck.
Yeah.